Hey guys, Retro Reviews here again with another Transformers video review. And rounding off the Commandos for the Robots in Disguise line, we'll go ahead and take a look at the combined form of Ruination. So, as we start, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the individual robots here, as you can see. And as I mentioned before in all my other videos, I was pretty much right. Rollbar does end up being the shortest of the bunch. So as you can see here, all 5 of them displayed in robot mode. They on their own they look really nice together, but that's not what we're here to focus on. We are going to focus on combining them. So, first what we're going to do is get the limb guys out of the way. We are going to focus on Mega Octane first. I'm going to get the camera pulled up here. So first thing we are going to do with Mega Octane is we're going to remove the gun, remove the chest plate. And then we're going to slide the fists back up, and then rotate his shoulders back. Take these sections here, rotate them up, and then collapse the legs down. So we get him in this position, and then take this piece here, and this will become his chest plate for Bruticus. And there is a peg here and a little lip right there. So the peg is going to peg into the square hole on his chest, and then the lip is going to catch onto the front of his waist. That way the chest plate stays perfectly still. Now, being a Scramble City style combiner, Ruination does have several different ways that you can combine the arms and legs on. We are going to stick with the 2 forms that are featured in the show. We are going to look at the flight mode, and we're going to look at the land mode. So starting off with land mode, we will take, actually I think this is flight mode. Let me consult the wiki real quick, just to make sure I have my facts right before I have somebody complaining that I got it wrong. Okay, so flight mode is going to be the one we're going to look at first. And we are going to start with the Rollbar and Armor Hide for the legs. So for Rollbar, all you do is, as you see, you squeeze the, you collapse the arms in, and you collapse the body in. And then you take the 1 foot piece here, which is labeled R for right, and then peg that into the bottom of his left foot. So that way he has a little platform to stand on now. And Armor Hide. And take the gun off, pull this all the way back and rotate it around. And then fold those up. Fold his arms up and then fold the legs up. And this is the one thing that the instructions do differently compared to Bruticus. I believe the original instructions actually do have you transform Brawl this way, but then in the cartoon, he was shown with the cannon on the front pointing up. But for the sake of both Ruination and how he appeared in the show and the instructions, we're going to do it this way. So once we get him folded up like this, we're going to take the other foot piece, and that will peg in to this peg hole right here on the bottom. like so. Then we'll go ahead and snap them into the combiner ports here, which strangely enough is also for their heads. Now, so we'll just take Rotor here. Now, unfortunately, Rotor also uses this for his arm joint, so it can be a little finicky with trying to get positioned right. So, but, and then Armor Hides is really fixed, so it's you just slam it down in there. Get this up just a little bit higher. And next ones we'll be taking a look at are there's Movor and Rotor. So for Movor, remove all the weapons. And then rotate. Basically try to get him back into shuttle mode, but then keep this one extended out. And then fold this combiner port out, and then take the right hand, which is labeled R for right, and then plug that into the topmost thruster. And then you can also additionally add there. It's going to get in the way of the weapons later, but you can add the blasters here for additional effect. And then just go ahead and we'll go ahead and snap this on right now. Just plug that into there. And now finally, Rotor, just like Movor, remove the weapons. And then we'll go ahead and work on getting him transformed back into helicopter mode. Kind of. But it won't be full helicopter mode. It'll be about there. Like that. And then take the other fist and then plug it into this hole right here. Fold out the combiner port. And then snap that on. And then finally, we can take the shield piece and we can peg that into the back of the gun. There's a little storage solution for that, as well as these weapons here for Rotor can just go back on his sides from helicopter form. And then finally, slam the new helmet on top over Mega Octane's head. And there we have Ruination, fully awakened, and in his robot mode. We'll go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt real quick. It is just Bruticus's head. Even the gray silver plastic. Now it does have a little bit of differences in paint, but overall it is just Bruticus's head. So not much else really to say about it, but one of probably everybody's favorite combiner team out of the 86 line was Ruination, or was Bruticus. So having Ruination as a 15, again, as I mentioned before with Mega Octane, having this set out as a 15-year anniversary of the original Bruticus set is really nice to have. Posability wise, it's extremely limited. He is just a G1 combiner after all, so he does get 360-degree rotation out of his arms, as long as he doesn't start to pull himself apart. Now there is two configurations for the weapons. Well, actually, never mind. There's only one configuration for the weapons, but you can also use the shield and Mega Octane's back gun as weapons as well. But for now, just go ahead and do this. So we're going to take Mega Octane's cannon here, and then we're going to take the little handgun from Movor and plug that into the hole on this side. And then, on the other side, we are going to take Armorhide's gun and plug that in there. And so that will just plug into the right hand. And then the rest of the weapons, we'll start with roll bars. So we'll take his big cannon first, and then his little cannon, and then stick that one on there. And then take Rotors and stick that one on there. And then take Armorhide's big cannon, and then that will stick on top. So then this one will plug into the other fist. So I do like how the weapons do have everything has their place to go back onto for Ruination, as opposed to pretty much all of the other 86 combiners, even Bruticus, because there's a lot of remolding to the weapons to make sure that they can combine together. But really the only piece that's left over from the combination is Onslaught's chestplate. Or Mega Octane's chestplate, you know what I mean. Now, for size comparison here, I'm going to go back out and bringing in Sideburn, and you can see just how much bigger the combined form of Ruination is compared to a deluxe class Autobot. I mean, Mega Octane was already about a head taller than Sideburn, so now he's just huge. Now, onto the land transformation here. We'll go ahead and keep all of the Bruticus bits on Onslaught, but we'll go ahead and take off the limbs, because either way you transform it, the torso stays the same. That being said, go ahead and for land configuration, make sure I've got this right. Okay, so we're going to get to this point here, and then we're going to rotate the legs around and collapse the turret in, fold down the combiner peg, and then this will form the right arm this time. So we'll take the right hand off of Movor and connect it on to Armorhide like so. Roll bar. We'll go ahead and just from here, we'll pull his legs out and then fold his head down. And then take the left hand and plug it in. And then for Rotor here, we'll go ahead and kind of get him back into robot mode a little bit. But we'll go ahead and fold it out. Keep his arms folded like that. And then untab the front of the helicopter. And then shimmy it up the legs. It does get a little rough because the clearance is just not really there. I don't like doing it this way, but it does say in the instructions to just fold this all the way forward and then slide the legs up like that. And it always just feels like it's too strong, like too tough of a connection to actually be legit. So I always feel like it's gonna break. But then you also need to fold down the helicopter blades. And then oh, actually I forgot, you do need to fold these pieces up. So then yeah, fold those up. I don't know if you even saw all of that, but I'm sorry. So yeah, you get Rotor to kind of look like this, and then you take the right foot and then plug him into it. And then Movor, go ahead and collapse his legs down. Fold the combiner port back up into his back. Fold his arms around. And then take these cannons and plug them on like so. And then take the left foot and plug that in to the bottom. And then just grab Mega Octane here again. Combine them on. Come on. There we go. And there we go. So there is Ruination in his land configuration. A little bit clunkier in this mode, honestly. I prefer the flight form better. Also, the extra hinge and roll bar's neck to accommodate the combiner peg does make it a little bit of a floppier arm. So I'm not really a big fan of that. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I really have to say. Bruticus himself is, as I've mentioned, pretty much one of the longest, like the staple of an 86 combiner. He's the one that everybody pretty much thinks of first when it comes to the Scramble City ones. But on his own, really, Bruticus isn't the best. Like, he is my favorite, but he's by no means the best in engineering wise compared to the others. And Onslaught, or wow, Ruination carries over pretty much all of the same things that Bruticus does. So just in a new fancy color scheme. Now, the one big thing that is that makes him different from the The Japanese release for Bruticus is all of the silver plastic for Mega Octane and Ruination are cast in gold plastic, as well as some deco changes between, like just some paint applications done on Roll Bar, Rotor, and Movor, and then Armor Hide was cast in a tan color with a desert camo. So now the Japanese one is more accurate color-wise. So if it does come down to whether or not you want the color accuracy of the show or just want the figure for the figure, that's going to depend on if you're going to get the American or the Japanese release. Just go ahead and show off Optimus Prime beside him. But other than that, it essentially just comes down to Ruination is a cheaper way to get a hold of an Onslaught. I mean, wow, it is getting late. Not Onslaught, but Bruticus. Ruination is a cheaper way to get a hold of a Bruticus. Because even though Bruticus himself is about 35 years old now, at least this version is only 20 years old. So, do I recommend, what comes down to is, do I recommend Bruticus or over Ruination, or Ruination over Bruticus? It's entirely up to you. For the sake of completion of the TV show, I went ahead and got Ruination, because it's also cheaper than getting a Bruticus. But also, Robots in Disguise is one of my favorite Transformers shows, and the first toy line that I actually started collecting. So, now, I mentioned this before in Movor's video review. The only two of the Commandos that I got growing up were Movor and Rotor. So it's fun when it's weird when you're a kid and you only have 2/5 of a combiner. Then you just kind of put your imagination together and pretend that the rest of them are there. At least that's what I did. So anyways, that's about all I have to say. Just nothing really big to mention about Ruination or Bruticus. I guess even his gold plastic, I haven't heard any horror stories of GPS happening. So that being said, oh, and I forgot to mention Mega Octane's neck swivel can be utilized in Bruticus as well, so you can get him to look left and right. So that's about it. Hope you guys liked this video review, and I'll see you next time. Bye.